Hello everyone, this video is brought to you by Laser Gaming, my personal choice when it comes to damage tokens for Lorcana. Make sure to have a look at them after this video. You'll see them being used in the gameplay. They're large, they're great quality, and honestly, it's made my video content for YouTube so much better. Big shout out to Laser Gaming for sponsoring this video. Oh, and link in description. Make sure to check out down below. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Crawford-Kana. In today's video, I am going to be playing a league match against a Ruby Sapphire deck, which was a bit of an interesting deck. I kind of struggled in this one. Today I'm going to be playing Purple Steel, and honestly, I really wasn't sure how to go about this. When he'd said to me that he had a brand new deck that was going to break the meta, I thought, you know what, yeah, let's give it a go. But it cooks pretty well, and I had to work really hard just to be able to keep up with this. We're going to be starting off with getting Captain Hook out on the turn one. Obviously, my always preferred turn one here. I like to be able to do a little bit of damage control, and then Beau is going to be playing out Mulan here. This tells me that he does run the shift line in the deck, so something I need to be a little bit careful over when he does have 5 ink available. Mulan coming out can wipe the board pretty quickly with the shift ability. With shift Mulan, it gets the plus attack. It can challenge into one of the characters and deal that amount of damage to 2 other characters, so it's an easy board wipe. Obviously, with no B prep, they do need something to be able to clear the board with Ruby Saph. A lot of people have said it's not a functioning deck, but we'll see with this game. Beau has got his ramp here, then hitting off a Develop Your Brain, drawing 2 cards, putting one into hand, one onto the bottom of the deck, and then he's going to take out Captain Hook with the Mulan. Now, I did quest that Hook, hoping he would take it out just so it can limit the shift possibilities there. I don't want that to stay on the board. And obviously, if he did quest, I'd be able to take out the Calhoun. For me, I'm just trying to limit as many threats as possible whilst I try and work out how to play against him. Because at this point, I'm still not too sure what the best strategy is for the deck. Normally with Purple Steel, we are going to want to go with turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, play a 4 cost, and then sing Strength. However, like I say, I'm not really sure what to expect in this matchup, so I'm kind of winging it as I go on. We went into White Rose, then followed up with Genie, getting the additional lore, and then drawing the card from Genie. We are then questing out the 2 characters. Kida, I'm expecting him not to challenge in with because he's going to want to utilise the ramp ability here. So it just means I've got a free bit of questing with my characters. If he does take out one of my characters, I don't think that's a worthwhile trade, so it just puts me in a stronger position. Once again, there's not a lot of board removal at the minute, especially in Ruby Sapphire, so I feel like the best strategy here is to fill out my board as much as possible. He is going to Kida into Calhoun here, which I think is just a bad idea. Calhoun isn't that much of a threat, especially when he's going to be trying to get out bigger characters in the late game. It's not like he's playing an aggro matchup and needs to worry too much about what's on the board or Calhoun trading into his characters. Having a little bit of a think here, I'm going to be playing down Dumbo, inking Genie, and then exerting Genie to draw a card, just keeping our hand filled, so we've got plenty of options for the later game. We've gone up to 7 here, so we are at quite a comfortable point. I've had quite a quick start, only a Donald Duck on field, so I'm not too worried. However, Hades comes down onto the Dumbo, which is a little bit annoying because that's my draw engine gone. As you can see in the hands, I've got Fire the Cannons, Palace Guard, Strength for Rage and Fire, so we do not have a lot of card draw left, something I'm a little bit worried about. We've drew our card here, looks like we're on 5 ink now, 6 ink even, thanks to the Hades trigger, and we've went into Yzma, which is a really nice pull for us. I can utilise Yzma here, play Fire the Cannons and Palace Guard, empty my hand out. On the next turn, I can then draw the potential up to 3 cards with Yzma, putting us in a really good position. Beau is obviously sitting on 7 ink, I believe, so he is starting to get into his better cards and does have a lot of resources in his hand, something I'm a little bit worried about. He inks the cell, plays out Develop, searching 2 cards here, and looks like it's a Shark, and can't quite tell on the other one. So noted, Maui Shark in the deck. Something else I need to be careful of with my evasives, if he can bring his actions back. However, not seeing too many actions at the minute, only Develop and Sail. Might have Vision of the Future in there. That could potentially be... Oh, another Hades comes down. Absolutely devastating. Losing Yzma here really ruins my game plan because I've completely run out of draw once again. Strength isn't going to be able to do anything. I think I've just pulled into a Palace Guard, which is a terrible top deck. We're going to have to play that out. Quest with the Genie going to 11. Not too sure if it's worth questing the Palace Guard here. However, I think we just try and get as much lore as possible to try and put the pressure on Beau, make him go into catch-up mode. But obviously, without a draw engine, it's going to be difficult. He pulls the goofy evasive, taking out my genie. That was my big threat on the board, going for my 2 quester. Really disappointed with that. 2 palace guards on the field, draw into a genie. Not a lot we can do here. I'm just going to have to try and layer my field out as much as possible, try and spread it out, get some quick lore, and hopefully then I can just clutch the game. Going to be getting Genie down, seeing Strength, getting rid of the evasive threat Goofy, Quest out, going to 14 and pass turn. No cards in hand here. I really do need to get some draw. A dock would be absolutely clutch currently. One of the things I'm really struggling with Purple Steel at the minute is I just never seem to see my docks, which is absolutely heartbreaking. I've got a video that I'm going to be putting up sometime next week about one of the store champs I played in, and you'll see in my top 8 match there, I didn't draw barely any docks. It was absolutely heartbreaking. So we've drew for turn here on 12 each due to the Pirate's Life, which is a little bit of a shame. We are going to be spending 4, I believe, to get Yzma. Okay, very good. That draw engine is back. Going to quest out the 3 characters, going to 15. Not too bad of a position here. Can obviously top deck these 3 characters, get something on the board with the next draw. This is where we could potentially come back. Vision in the future lets him get some searching. Need to hope that he doesn't see a Hades there, or he's went into Maleficent. That could be quite a problem for me. Sitting on 6 ink, though, so he's not got enough to play it. Should be fine here, unless he already has the Hades in hand. We do not want to see that. That would be a bit of a heartbreaker. If he did have it, though, I'm not sure Vision was the best play there. Goes for 6, and Pirate's Life drops me back down to 13. That's problematic. So he's on 14. He can quest out with the Hades for 4, putting him on 18. It's going to be hard for me to get rid of that board state there. Goes up to 18, and we pass turn. Draw into... Is it useful? Is it something I can play here? Exerting 2 to go Calhoun. Not really a good shout there. So we've got the Strength for Raging Fire, Dumbo, and Elsa. I can play down the Elsa, and I think I can only take out 1 Hades here, which is a bit of a problem. Obviously, Exert and Yzma. If that wasn't exerted before, I'd be able to go into something else. However, I needed the card draw. Calhoun obviously just does me nothing here. If that top deck is swapped around to the Strength, could have potentially done something else here. I think at this point, realistically, I just scoop. I can go 3, 4, 5, and then Elsa take out 1 Hades. I could also sing. Well, no, can't sing, just hardcast. So yeah, going to be straight on to the next game. Maleficent in hand. That's Beau's Store Champs promo Maleficent card. I played against him in the Catch and Geek Retreat Store Champs, and I beat him in the top 4. He was playing a Churn Dog aggro deck. I was playing Blurple at the time, so that absolutely terrified me. Awful match play, but I just about scraped through it. Okay, so moving on to game 2. I've taken the loss on the first one, so I will be going first. Going to ink out the min, play out Captain Hook. At this point, I've said to myself, I have a bit more of an understanding of his deck, so I'm going to play a little bit more conservatively. He's not going to get to 20 very quickly, so I think I'm just going to play a similar style to how I would against Blurple. I'm going to build my board as wide as possible, not worry too much about questing, just so I can focus on board presence. There's not a lot of mass removal that I've seen. Obviously got the Maleficent Dragon in the Hades, but don't need to worry about that too much. Question with the Hook in hopes that he takes out with the Mulan once again. I don't want that training. I don't want that getting the shift. And then playing out 2 Palace Guards, Shin Mirrorline, extremely large ball presence. We're quite happy with this turn so far. Goes into another Mulan. That's a little bit of a worry for me. Do not want this shift popping off. Little bit of a threat here. I think it makes sense to trade into the Hook then, get rid of one of the Mulans. Yes, he does that, leaving the 2 Palace Guards on the board. Okay, not too awful of a position. I just need to be a little bit careful not to exert if I don't need to. Like I say, if he gets that shift and wipes me, we're going to be into a few problems. Going to be inking Giant Cobra here, playing out White Rose, gaining the additional lore, put me on 2 total. Now, Giant Cobra could have been a shout here, just since it's a little bit of a bigger character, but I didn't want to discard a card from my hand, and I wanted to try and get my lore total up higher. As much as I'm going to focus on building my board presence more, I do need to make sure that I don't just waste cards. As we saw in the last game, I completely ran out my draw engine. Going to be inking Yzma, playing out Genie, drawing the additional card. Do I quest here? No, I just pass turn. I think that's sensible. Scrooge on the board can obviously take out one of my characters. And then with the Inkwell, could have shifted out the Mulan as well. That would be able to wipe my Genie. Not something we want to do. Going to be sticking out the Donald Duck, getting the additional bit of ramp. Beau going up to 6 ink total now. We've got a Giant Cobra in hand, potentially strong play, just for a beefy character on the board. What else do I have in my hand? Got a Captain Hook and a Calhoun as well. Going to be inking the Captain Hook and then playing out Giant Cobra and Calhoun, not activating the trigger for Giant Cobra, just valuing getting a little bit more into my Inkwell. Quest with Genie going up 6. He's got no evasive characters on the board, so not too much of a threat for me. Going for the Vision here, searching for 5 cards, going to try and get some additional cards into his hand. See the Mali Dragon in hand, and I think that's a Maui Shark as well. I think realistically at this point he's looking for a Hades to try and get rid of my Genie. That would be a nice play. Potentially the Goofy Evasive. With Rush, that could be a nice shout too. Still got 4 ink left available. Can ink for this turn. Going to be spending 2 by the looks of it. Nope, having a little bit of a think here. Inking the Mali Dragon, a little bit too late game for him, I think. And then going for another Scrooge. Okay, big Scrooge is on board. So Beau's got a lot of questing power here, and he could get up pretty quickly, so I do need to be careful that he doesn't get too far ahead of me. Once again, though, no evasive characters on board, so I can focus on that. We get the Dumbo down, absolutely lovely. Start the draw engine off, drawing off the Dumbo and Genie Exertion. Do I quest here? I think I just hold off. There doesn't really seem to be any other point letting him get rid of my characters. Once again, he could also have that Shift Mulan in hand. I don't want to risk that. That is not a valuable trade for me. Realistically, if I get my board wide enough, we can... Oh my God, Mufasa! Who is playing Mufasa in this set? Jesus Christ! Okay, so Mufasa, really cool card here. When you play it down, you get to bring 2 cards back for your Inkwell into your hand, so it gets a nice little bit of extra draw. Additionally, he is also going to be able to, when Mufasa quests, to re-exert all of his ink and then play more characters. This is really nice for a style of deck like Ruby Sapphire, where he's trying to work on getting the bigger characters out. It means he can fill his board, make it a lot more threatening. Looks like he's just going to be questing out here, going for 4 with the Scrooges, and then he passes turn. Okay, so still no evasive threats for me. However, I do want rid of that Faster straight away. That looks quite threatening to me. Not something that I'm wanting to deal with. I think I have the Elsa in hand here, which could be nice. Yep, Elsa comes down. We're going to exert Faster. And then Cobra, Elsa, Calhoun into the Mufasa. So I've had to use 3 cards here to take it out, which is a bit of a shame, but I do get the additional 2 lore from Calhoun, which is nice. If I could ink here, I could use Dumbo's effect to draw an additional card, but just depends what I've got in my hand.
Dearest viewer, I would not be subjecting you to all this advertisement if it wasn't in fact for good reason. So the link that I mentioned earlier that you can click on down below right now to go to Laser Gaming and see some amazing damage counters and get yourself some excellent Lorcana products, well, I can save you a bit of money too. If you click on that link and use the code CrawfordCarner5, I can get you not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5% off your purchase on checkout. So make sure to head over to Laser Gaming now and use code CrawfordCarner5 to get 5% off your purchase.
Nope, going to be inking that Genie, exerting Dumbo, gain a lore, draw. Keep giving me options here, then quest out with the Genie, going to 12. Okay, threatening position here. Beau has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lore on board. He can't take out any of my characters yet because the no evasives on his field. So once again, good position for me. Going for the Sail, tell me that he doesn't have any immediate answers in his hand, but he does pull in to Goofy here. Goofy can take out my Genie. Going to be inking the Donald Duck there, Sail effect. Goofy comes down, has to be Genie surely, or I'll quest too much, or potentially the Dumbo to get rid of my draw engine. However, I feel like Genie is always going to be the play here, as I am getting very close to game. Beau doesn't have any cards in hand, but he does go for the Dumbo, scared that I'm going to get a little bit too much draw. It's a valid choice. Obviously, Purple Steel, I can fill my board out very quickly. If I get that draw engine off, going with Dumbo and an Elsa, that's 2 additional cards this turn. If they're low cost, can fill them out very quickly. Okay, ready in ink here. We're in a strong position, 12 to 10. I do need to be careful that he doesn't get too far ahead, though, because he does have high quests on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lore available on the board. Playing down Raja and Doc. Lovely top deck here. Drawing 2 cards. We pulled into the Strength for Raging Fire as well. We can sing this off with a character. I think realistically, I need to take out that Goofy with one of my characters. Do we sing here to take it out, or do I just go straight in with Elsa? Yep, trading with the Elsa, taking that straight off the board. I still have enough to be able to sing and take out another character as well. Or we can hardcast, even better, hardcast, taking out Scrooge, getting rid of one of the threats, quest with the Genie, going to 14. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on board, can't take out any of my characters unless he has something in his deck to be able to exert. I don't think he does. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lore on board. Moana comes down, nothing he can do here. Quest for 2, 4, 5, putting him on 15, and then I simply quest out and take game 2. Okay, we are back in the game, but I'm going to be going second here. And against a control deck, I'm not too sure I like that too much. Obviously, Purple's still a very fair deck. It does have its weaknesses, but As long as I can keep the pressure on where board state, I think I'm going to be fine here. So Mulan comes down, 2 damage, starts off with Diablo on the field. Okay, not the ideal 1-drop because I want to be able to threat. It means Mulan can quest here, but at least I do have the 1 cost there. Tifo comes down, sticking another ink into the inkwell. Mulan quests 1 and passes turn. I think I have a Calhoun in my hand. I think that makes sense to be the turn 2 play. Yep, also see a dock in there, so we're going to try and want to get my cards onto the field as quick as possible, be able to get that dock roulette up. However, Yzma coming down first is going to be essential because it can activate a far better draw engine. I'm fine waiting for dock and not getting the immediate value if I can utilize my cards like Yzma and Genie. Really, really useful here. Sometimes it's best not to keep that dock in your opening hand, just to be able to fill your hand up with other cards. Obviously, dock come down on turn 5, 6, 7 is a little bit risky because we can draw into other docks. Going to be Ink and Genie here, going out with a White Rose, getting the additional lore and passing turn here. I think realistically I could have quested that Diablo, take the extra card draw. However, in my head I've said it worked filling out my board last game. I want to get a wide board presence. Absolute travesty for Beau. He can't ink, he can't play this turn. No inkable cards in his hand. Absolutely devastating. This is the point which says to me that I need to put my foot on the gas and really go as quick as possible. Genie come down on the field, allow me to draw a card. And then do I quest out here? I think realistically I should have, because I've got, Diablo, Calhoun, and White Rose questing up. Realistically, I could have held off a little bit, but I don't have the strength in my hand. Could try and make my opponent think that I do have it. However, if they are not inking and not able to do anything, it makes sense. No way. He's not able to play again for the next turn. Still on 3 ink, not able to do anything. He is just going to have to sit there. Tipo, if it takes out Diablo, I take out Calhoun the next turn. Really risky here for him because I'm getting additional lore. This turn I'm going to be playing down the Dumbo. We're going to stick another card into the ink, surely. Then quest using Dumbo's effect on the Genie. No, I stick down Hook, focused on board presence. Quest out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going up to 9. There is not much Beau can do in this position. He's going to need to get something on the field immediately. Plays down the Scrooge McDuck, but only being on 4 lore whilst I'm ahead on ramp is surely not a good state for the Ruby Sapphire player. This is the big issue with control decks. They brick very heavily and something you need to be really careful of. Too many uninkables in the deck can really, really cost you. I played a game earlier in the night at League where I was playing against a Ruby Amethyst player and he was playing the Infinity deck against me. I thought I was going to get cooked, but he had the exact same issue. Too many uninkables clogged his hand up and he couldn't play for a couple of turns, and it meant I could just spam my board out. Yzma comes down into the dock. What a fantastic play. We are now looking at 2, 6, 7, 8 characters on board with a draw engine on board from Dumbo, draw engine on board from Yzma. We can really put the pressure on here. Mulan is going into the inkwell and then going to be spending out on another Scrooge McDuck. He can't challenge into anything because only evasives are exerted with the Genie. I've got another Yzma in my hand here. If I can play this down onto the board, I can refill very quickly. Looks like we've also got the Jafar and the Fire the Cans here. Realistically, I think it makes sense to take out that Mulan just so I don't need to worry about the shift line. Going to be questing out straight away, going up to 20, and we take the game. Well done, Zach. Right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you in the next one.